Tamale pie. Yep, that's what we're having for dinner tonight. So first you're going to start by putting if you don't have a oven safe casserole dish, then you can do this in a skillet, or you can make a round tamale pie if you have a larger cast iron skillet also, which I do, but this is my favorite. It's a 13 by 9 and it's about 2 inches deep. You're going to brown 1.5 pounds of ground beef on the stovetop. That's about ready to add our stuff in here. So we're going to add 1 small onion, or half of a very large onion. The onions we've been getting lately are so tiny that I have 2 of them to equal 1. And then I just got 1 can of diced jalapenos. Drain that juice off really well. If you're allergic to spicy stuff, you could add diced chilies because they're less spicy than jalapenos. But my 3-year-old and my 7-year-old are going to eat this without telling me that it is too spicy. So don't be a wussy. Alright, we're just going to cook that up for a couple more minutes. Now that ground beef is thoroughly cooked through, we're going to drain off some of this excess grease just by tipping the skillet to one side, spooning it into our beef fat that we have stored in the freezer from last night's dinner. We're just going to keep adding to it until this one's full. Alright, be right back. Alright, and then you want to make sure to leave this to sit out just until it's room temperature before you put it back into the freezer. Otherwise that steam will try to collect bacteria. I don't know, just on the fat, maybe in the whole freezer. So I just put mine up here. Probably only take like 30 minutes because that is already pretty frozen. Alright, and now for the next step. Alright, after you drain that, add 1.5 cups of salsa, or you could use 1 can of diced tomatoes. With chilies preferred, but if you're one of those wussies, you could do it without chilies, just regular tomatoes. And then you're going to add a couple of tablespoons of that taco seasoning that we just mixed last night. There you go. And then you're going to add the equivalent of 1 can of corn, which is approximately 1.5 cups of frozen corn. And then we're just going to mix that up. Let that cook for a couple of minutes so that taco seasoning can get distributed into that meat really well. That looks just about right to me. Okay. And now I'm going to prepare that topping. Oh, we better get the oven going. Alright, let's get that oven set to 350. Smush that all down so it's a nice flat layer here. Just like that. Looking good already. Okay, 350. Always got to check the oven around here and make sure it's empty. Yep. There's always a birthday cake or something hiding in there. Alright, you're going to find a mixing bowl that's microwave safe. Melt 1 stick of butter for about 1 minute until it's near melted or all the way melted. Alright, after 1 minute, it's most of the way melted, soft enough to press down. That's plenty good enough. Just give it a little mix there. Okay, so what you're going to need to add to this is 2 cups of water, 2 teaspoons of chicken bouillon. Or you can substitute this with chicken broth if you like to use chicken broth. And if you use hot water, this will mix up a lot more smooth. Look at that. Now we have 2 cups of chicken broth. We're going to add that to our butter. And then we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And then we're going to add in 2.5 cups of Mexican blend cheese, or you could use cheddar if you want to use cheddar. We'll mix that up a little bit. Make sure that baking soda is all mixed in so that it can be distributed evenly. And now we're going to add 2 cups of Masa harina corn flour. Yep, instant corn masa. And then we're going to stir this all together. And then we're just going to pour it right over the top. Try to make sure you get all that flour moistened and get the lumps out before you pour it in. Otherwise, you'll have little bits where it'll be dry when you bite into it. Alright, and then you're just going to dump that batter. It feels really sticky like biscuit batter at this point, so just dump it all right into the center. And then you're just going to use the back of your spoon to slowly press it all around until it gets all the way to the edges. If you just go back and forth like this, and then it won't disrupt your layer from down below. You want to make sure that you get all the way to the corners there. This whole thing needs to be covered like it's a nice tight blanket. Everything's tucked in. Okay. Wow. Just about perfect. One more smooth out. Just make sure. Oh, there's a big spot right there. There we go. Alright, and now we're going to put it into our hot oven for 40 minutes. Alright, look at that. So pretty. Oh, there's a little hole. We don't want a little hole. Alright, bake that for 40 minutes. Be right back. Alright, and this is what it looks like after it's baked for 40 minutes. And we're just going to let that cool down for at least 15 minutes before we try to cut it and serve it up. Alright, and this is what you get after you cut into it. 8 pieces. Just make sure you go around the edges before you try to pull it out or it'll stick to the sides. Yeah, and then you just serve it up just like you do lasagna. Okay. It smells so good. Hey, see you next time.